But anywho, we'll just go ahead and explain really quick what we did. Hi, Samantha Yeager.
Hi, I'm Leslie Cruz.
The camera on my laptop wasn't recording this entire time. We have been recording also on a phone to like keep actual track of the ice melting right now. But so I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly explain what's happening as the ice concludes its melting process. So we added like a cup of water to each glass, and then we added half a tablespoon of iodized salt to one of the glasses. Salt. And then we placed one blue cube in the salt water, a green cube in the fresh water. And before we did that, however, we did, Leslie, I can't take credit for this, you know, I'm not the artist here. We drew out what we expect to happen. You can't really see because like it's a little dark, but I'll go ahead and explain it. So this top one is the fresh water, and it's going from bigger to smaller, while the bottom one is the salt water, and it's going from thicker to thinner. So, and the reasons why we predicted the salt water is going from thicker to thinner, not bigger to smaller like the fresh water, is because I personally think that it is melting from within, because like the salt diffuses into the ice cube and it's like melting the inner core of the ice faster than it's melting the outer rim of the ice. Leslie believes that it melts from the top to the bottom because,
I mean, you're dropping in from like the starting point and it's just stop. It's being dropped in from bottom to top, so which is why it would like melt from the bottom instead of the top.
Yes. So basically that's all we've done so far. Right now we've been recording the progress as it's been melting, but we just wanted to explain what we've done so far because the laptop wasn't recording our intro or anything like that, but we haven't.
And it seems that the
green one,
the fresh water cup
Ice
cube has already melted in 8 minutes.
So
and the salt water is still like big chunk of the
can show it
of the ice.
Yes. So it only took 8 minutes to dissolve the fresh water. Do you have any reasons as to why that melted faster?
I mean, going for your theory, it's like, yeah, it was like melting from the outside, and for this one, it's melting from the inside, which is kind of taking a little longer, I guess. So
yeah, and in terms of whether or not like it's an exothermic or an endothermic reaction, I think that the fresh water would have to be an endothermic, because heat is required to melt it, you know? And then I think that the salt water would be an exothermic because the heat is leaving the salt in like the salt water to enter it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly whether or not it's an endothermic or an exothermic, just because we are seeing two completely different reactions, even though the only difference between the two cups is one of them has salt and the other one is just
fresh water.
So, do you have any theories as to whether or not it's endothermic or exothermic?
No, you basically just went over what I was thinking.
So, yeah, our salt water is still dissolving. We are still patiently waiting. It has now been 10 minutes. And also, if you look at like the actual cups, and stuff. We still have an ombre effect for the salt water where it's going from a darker blue to basically nothing but the actual like color of the salt. And then our fresh water turned completely green immediately after it started melting also. Also, the water was at room temperature and the ice was frozen overnight, so if that has any effect, which I'm sure it does, keep that in mind.
Please.
Thank you.
It's dissolving just very slowly.
Besides the color change, there's no other like noticeable difference of the cup of water. It looks thinner on top than it does on bottom.
Oh, I get it. Okay. I mean,
Right? Like if you look at like the actual like camera and stuff, like
it looks like it's thick.
Yeah.
But it's just one side of it, it's very thick, the other side is thin.
Yeah, so it's unevenly melting. While the one in fresh water was kind of just generally equal, correct?
Yeah.
Alright. Glad we agree. I'm sorry that we messed up the intro and stuff. We genuinely thought the laptop was recording this entire time. We even saw the timer going, but I went to go check my gallery and it turns out that it wasn't recording whatsoever. It has now been 14 minutes and the ice is still looking pretty icy. But my phone died and it was recording the progress of the ice, so we're just gonna move the camera down a little bit on the laptop just so we can finish recording the progress. The saltwater ice cube is almost finished melting. It just has probably a couple more minutes. Right now we're going on 26 minutes as it is, so yeah. Sorry for all the technical difficulties.
So it's nearly done, so it's just like a little piece.
Alright.
Did you just say it?
Yeah. Alright, so it took about a total of 34 minutes for the saltwater ice cube to dissolve. Well, it only took how long for the other one? 8 minutes?
Wasn't it 8 minutes?
I mean, it was 8 minutes. Yeah, it was 8 minutes. My conclusion is that I believe that the salt water did dissolve from within to without, and that's why it took longer because, you know, it took longer for the heat to travel all through the ice cube while the heat traveled onto the ice cube in the fresh water, having it to melt more clearly and more equally. So, yeah. That concludes our experiment. Bye.